Şimdi bak, siz yıllardır program yapıyorsunuz. Siyasal iktidarların tanımını da çok iyi bilirsiniz. Seçime giderken dövizi yükseltmeyi göze alır mı? Ve burası Türkiye ise
Almaması gerekir.
almaması lazım. Çünkü
Çılgınlık olur.
One of the tenses in the Turkish language is Genis, Zaman. Genis, Zaman, which is widely used in Turkey. In this video, I will talk about this tense, what is its equivalence in English, and the rules regarding using this tense. So stay till the end of the video to know more about this tense with lots of examples. Geniş zaman is the simple present tense in English. Of course, we all know what is the simple present tense. It is used for things that we do always. Some things or actions that we did in the past, still do now, and will do in the future. Like, I sleep, I eat, I walk, I read. Whatever you do always in your daily life is the geniş zaman or the simple present tense. To make a verb in the geniş zaman or the simple present tense, all what you have to do is remove the mak and the mek that we use for the infinitive form in Turkish. And then we add the necessary suffix to the root verb. For example, I have the verb yazmak, which means to write. When I add the mak or mek to a verb in Turkish, it gives me the infinitive form. I remove the mak and I'll have yaz, which means write. Now I use this form of the verb, the root verb, add the necessary suffix, and I will get the geniş zaman. Another example is almak, which means either to take or to buy. I have mak over here, so it's the infinitive form, to take, to buy. I remove the mak, I'll have al, which means take or buy. I add the necessary suffix to this root verb, and I can get my geniş zaman. We can express the geniş zaman in 4 ways. We have 1. The positive way, like I eat. Olumlu means positive. Positive, I eat. Next one is negative, olumsuz. I do not eat. The third one is positive and a question. So it's olumlu and soru. Do I eat? This is the third way. And the last way is negative and question. Olumsuz, soru. Do I not eat? So, in Turkish, the geniş zaman is expressed in 4 ways, either positive, negative, positive and a question, negative and a question. Let's start with the first case, the positive, olumlu. What you do is you just add the letter R to the verb root. But we have 3 ways to do that. We focus on the last letter of the verb. Is it vowel or consonant? I will tell you later what we do. So, to form the positive in the geniş zaman, you just add the R, okay? And then you focus on 2 things. The last letter of the verb, is it vowel or consonant? And the number of syllables that verb is made up of. We will take examples. We are still in the positive first case. When the verb ends in a vowel, what do we do? When the verb ends in a vowel, no matter what is the number of syllables. So we don't look at the syllables, we just look at the last letter and its vowel. What do? You add the letter R next to the verb root, and then you can add the personal suffix, which is like im, if you're talking about yourself, ben, and so on. The rule is over here. If the last vowel of the verb is a or what do? If it's a or e, what do we add? If it's o or u, also or u. Let's start with the first one, ben, I. We said the last letter is a vowel. You add the R did we say that over here? We said just add the R and next to it the personal suffix. We added the R. What is the suffix of ben? It's When the last vowel is a or it's When it's a or e, it's im. O or u, e or u, it's im. So these are the vowels of the verb root. If it's a or we use If it's a or e, we use im for ben, and we continue this way. Same case for sen, you. We said the last letter is a vowel. We just add the r and next to it the suffix of the personal pronoun. In sen, it is sun when the last vowel is a or e. If the last vowel is a or e, we add sin and we continue this way. For o, as we all know, we don't have a personal suffix for o. We just add the r. And we will take examples after this slide. For b's, you add the r and also you add the appropriate suffix of the personal pronoun. If it's a or you write is. If it's a or e, you write is. O or u, you write us, and the last one. Same as ben and sen. Siz, you add the r and sınız, because as we know, sınız, siniz, sunuz, sünüz is or are the suffixes of siz. When the last vowel is this one, we add sınız. When it's this one, we add siniz, and we continue this way. And the last one, onlar, they, we add the r and next to it lar or ler. If it's heavy vowel like a or o or u, it's lar. If the vowels are thin or ince in Turkish, we add, like here, we have e, i, ö, ü. These are ince harfler or vowels. We add ler. And this is the vowel harmony rule, the one that I have made a previous video about. Now let's take a verb as an example. We have two verbs. Başla ends with a vowel. Anla ends with a vowel. Başla means start. Anla means understand. Başlamak, we said infinitive form, to begin. We remove the mak and we have başla, begin. What do we do? For ben, we start başla. As we said, we add the r only because the last letter is vowel. And what's the suffix of ben? Because we have a, we add We add over here, and this one we explained in the previous slide, the table. Means, here I begin. The sen, same. Başla, you add the r and sın. O, başlar, as we said, o doesn't have a suffix. It ends with a vowel and add the r at the end. This is it. Biz başlarız, siz başlarsınız, onlar başlarlar. So as we see here, you add the r next to the vowel and the appropriate suffix of the personal pronoun, which is over here. If the last vowel is a or use and you continue this way. Look over here. Başla ends with a. As in the previous table, we have to add right? Another example is anlamak, to understand. Anla, understand. It also ends with a, anla. So we add the r over here and next to them the personal suffix of the personal pronoun. Because it's a, if we go back to the previous slides, it's a. The last vowel is a. We use sın. Here we don't have a suffix. Sınız, lar, which we used over here. This is the first case. Now, if the verb ends in a consonant and has one syllable, we add r. The first case was if it ends in a vowel. This case, if it ends in a consonant with one syllable. What do? We have some examples over here. We have yaz, sor, gül. All of them end in a consonant and they are one syllable. Yaz, one syllable. Sor, gül, one syllable. What do we do? If the last vowel of the verb root, the last vowel in yaz is what? A, over here, A, right? If it's A, O, U, use arım, arsen, ar, and you continue. So use R, A-R. When the last vowel in the verb is one of these. When the last vowel in the verb is one of these, like in gül, it's Ü, it's one of this. We use er, see this one? Er, over here, er. And next to it, we add the suffix of the personal pronoun. Clear? I hope it's clear now. Sormak, to ask. Sor, ask. We take the root verb. I put it over here, sor. Now, what's the last vowel of sor? It's O. This is the last vowel. You go back to the rule. Use R, sorarım, I ask. Let's see the second one. Also, the last vowel is O. Use R, A-R. And because the last vowel of R is A also, use sın, arsen. Sen sorarsın, you ask. O sorar, we don't have a suffix for the personal pronoun o. Biz sorarız. Siz sorarsınız. Onlar sorarlar. In short, when the verb ends in a consonant and it's one syllable, use R or er. When do you use R? When the last vowel of the verb is one of these letters, you use R and next to it the suffix of the personal pronoun. When do you use er? If the last vowel in the verb is one of these vowels, A, I, Ö, Ü, you put it, and next to it you put the suffix of the personal pronoun ben in this case, and sen in this case. O doesn't have, biz is because the last vowel is E. Sin is ler. This is the second case. Till now we took two cases. First case, when the last letter in the verb is vowel, you just add R. When it ends in a consonant and one syllable, you add either R or er. Now we have some exceptions. These words or verbs are exceptions. We don't apply the same rule. Durmak, and here I've repeated it. Varmak, vermek, almak, bulmak, gelmek, sanmak, kalmak, görmek, bilmek, ölmek, olmak. These are exceptions. We have case 3, when it ends in a consonant but has more than one syllable. Not as the previous case, it's consonant and one syllable. No, more than one syllable, we add these additions. Example, düşün, düşün, 2 syllables, but the last letter is a consonant. Kullan, also, otur, 2 syllables, the last vowel or the last letter is a consonant, which is R. What do? We separate them now. The vowels are, if it's A or E, we use these. If it's A or E, these. O or U, the following, and Ö or Ü, these. Let's see. We said if it's consonant and has more than one syllable, we use this. When do we use when the last vowel of the verb is A or E, as in every case. When do we use ir? If the last vowel of the verb is either E or I. When do we use when the last vowel is O or U. And when do we use ür? If the last vowel is Ö or Ü. The same case as before. All we do is we add the and next to it the suffix of ben. Now why did we use Go back to the previous videos because we have here also, so it's vowel harmony. Sen, you add the addition, which is over here and sın. ırız, ırsınız, ırlar. So when the last vowel of the verb is one of these, use the following. When the last vowel of the verb is A or E, use these. And same goes for the following. Example, we have kullanmak, to use. Kullan is the root verb that we will work on. We have ben, kullan. The last vowel is A. We go back here, it's ırım. Ben kullanırım, I use. Same goes for the rest. Sen kullanırsın because the last vowel is A. O kullanır, biz kullanırız, we use. Siz kullanırsınız, you use. Onlar kullanırlar, they use. This was the third case. We're done with the positive geniş zaman. We have three cases. First case, when the last letter is vowel. Second case, when the last vowel or the last letter is a consonant and one syllable. Third case, when it ends in a consonant and more than one syllable. Now we move to the negative form. As we said, the geniş zaman has four cases: positive, negative, positive question, and negative question. This is the second case, negative. Now, how do we form the negative geniş zaman? Is by adding maz or mez and next to it the appropriate personal pronoun suffix. Only two cases for ben and biz. For ben we add either mam or mem. For biz we have mayız or meyiz. We will see how. And the rule says if the last vowel of the verb root is either one of these, we add the following: ben and next to it the verb and mam, because we spoke about it over here. The second one, sen, maz, sin, maz, and the suffix of sen. O doesn't have any suffix, so it's o and the verb with maz. Biz mayız, siz mazsınız, onlar mazlar. And when the last vowel of the verb is either one of these, the ince ünlü harfler, the thin ones, use mem for ben, sen. Use with it mezsin, use mez for o pronoun, meyiz, mezsiniz, and mezler for these three pronouns. And let's take some example. We have verbs that follow this rule: cheese, kullan, yemek. These are examples. Çizmek is to draw. We take the root verb, which is cheese, draw. Ben çizmem. We follow the rule. It's cheese. And because the last vowel is ince, we use mem, not mum. You can say çizmam. No harmony over here. Çizmem. I do not draw. Sen çizmezsin. Also the rule that we spoke about. O çizmez, biz çizmeyiz, siz çizmezsiniz, and onlar çizmezler. So basically what we are doing here is taking the rule and just applying it to the verb and adding the appropriate suffixes and additions. The third case we said is positive and a question. Soru means question. What do we do? You follow these steps when you want to do the positive question. First of all, you split the verb after the R. Split it. Then you add the question form. It's either m, mi, mu, mü, and you choose one of them, of course, according to the vowel that is before the R. Always vowel harmony. And then you attach the personal suffix. Now, we have here some notes for the personal pronouns ben and biz. What do? We add a y before the personal suffix. It is like a protection letter between two vowels. We'll see that. And for onlar, we add or attach the R, and then we add the question form. It's either m or mi. Let's take the rule. If the vowel before the R is either A or as usual, what do? We said we add the question form, and for Ben and Bees we have the Y as a protection letter, and we have the personal pronoun suffix, which is in our case for Ben, when we have the last vowels as these. For Sen, we have the question form and then directly the suffix of the personal pronoun sen. For O, it doesn't have a suffix, so it's only m. For B's, it's m, is, and we have the Y as a protection letter. C's, we have the question form. What's the suffix of C's? In this case, it's sınız. On lar, we have lar, and m is separated. So in onlar, we have put the suffix of onlar and then the question form, which is separated from the suffix. Same case, we have e or e as the last vowel, mim instead of muyum, because these are kalın harfler, they are heavy. We use mim because these are ince harfler. Mim for ben, misin, mi for o pronoun, biz miyiz, siz misiniz, onlar ler mi? And we will take examples after this slide. When the last vowel is either o or u, we have muyum, musun, mu, muyuz, musunuz, and lar mı. When the last vowel is ö or ü, müyüm, müsün, mü, müyüz, müsünüz, and ler mi. We have here the Y, protection letter between two vowels, and also for biz. Example, same verb, çizmek to draw, çiz, draw. We take the root verb. We put the pronoun. We can remove it, of course, but in this case we put it. Ben. Now we look over here. What is the last vowel in cheese? It's E, right? What do? We put çizer, and then the one that we spoke about in the previous slide, the question form, miyim. Sen çizer misin? Do you draw? O çizer mi? Does he, she, it draw? Biz çizer miyiz? Do we draw? Siz çizer misiniz? And onlar çizerler mi? Do they draw? What you do is, you put the personal pronoun, çizer, you put the next to çiz, which is the verb, and the question form we explained in the previous slide, miyim, misin, mi, miyiz, misiniz, and mi. Of course, as you all know by now, we can remove these personal pronouns and keep these two words. Why? Because the this is the suffix of which pronoun? It's ben, right? It's always ben. The sin over here is for sen. So these personal pronouns can be erased and we will have the same meaning. But in English, we cannot do that and remove the personal pronouns because the sentence then won't have any meaning. In Turkish, we can do that. If you notice, when I spoke about this rule, I said we add the R and then we split it, we put the question form and then we personal pronoun, the suffix of the personal pronoun. But here we can't say çize and R. No, it's çizer. We have to add the A over here. For some verbs, it doesn't work that we add only the R. If the verb ends in a vowel, yes, then we just add R. For example, yemek, to eat, is the infinitive form. If we want to take the root verb, it's ye, Y and E, ye. When we have that verb, it ends in a vowel, yes, we add the R directly. So we say, ben yer miyim? Yes, we add the R. But because here it's Z at the end, you have to add A before it. Now the last case is negative and a question. This is the last case of the Geniş Zaman or the simple present tense. we attach mas, mes. Remember when we said about the negative, we put mas, mes? But the case here is with a question. So you add mas, mes to the root or to the verb root, depending of course on the last vowel. And then we add the question form m or mi. And then the personal suffix. Same as before, we have y is the protection letter between two vowels for ben and bis. And for onlar, we add the mas or mes, and then we add the question form. The rule: when the last vowel of the verb root is one of these, we do the following, and one of these we use the following. We said if it's negative, we add mas, but this case now we have negative and a question. We just add the two things that we took before, the negative and the questions, and put them next to each other. Ben, the verb, we have mas, miyim. Miyim is the question. Sen, you use maz mısın? O, maz mı? Biz, maz mıyız? Siz, mazsınız? And onlar mazlar mı? When the last vowel is a, I, o, u, or the kalın ünlü harfler, the thick ones. When the last vowel is either e, I, ö, ü, use mez and miyim. Mez misin, mez mi, mez miyiz, mez misiniz, mezler mi? Example, same example, çizmek, to draw, cheese. What do we do here? Ben, cheese, mez, miyim. Mez is for the negative and miyim the question. Do I not draw? Sen çizmez misin? Do you not draw? O çizmez mi? Does he, she, it not draw? Biz çizmez miyiz? Do we not draw? Siz çizmez misiniz? Do you not draw? And onlar çizmezler mi? Do they not draw? Çiz, the verb, mez, the negative. In the onlar we put its suffix and then the question. In siz we put the verb, the negative, and the question, and same for this. As you can see now, we have the Geniş Zaman. As we said, to do the Geniş Zaman, which is the same as simple present tense, you have four cases and it is expressed in four ways. Either positive, the positive has three cases. If the last letter in the verb is a vowel, what do you do? If it's consonant and one syllable, what do you do? And if it's consonant and more than one syllable, what do you do? This is only for the positive case. The rest have only one form. You have the negative, you have the positive question, and negative question. Regarding the other tense, which is the present continuous tense, I have explained it before. I will link it in the description box and you can watch it from here. In the coming videos, inshallah, I will be explaining the other tenses in the Turkish language. If you are still watching till now, I wish you all the best in learning Turkish. If you have any question, just put it down in the comments section and see you in another video, inshallah.